My name's Terri Freeny, and I am from Fort Smith. I teach at Northside High School in Fort Smith. I'm a technology facilitator, so I try to help teachers learn to use technology in meaningful ways, not just for the sake of saying, well, I have a Google Classroom.
Right.
I'm using technology.
Well, that's the last teacher that was just here, Maureen Austin. And that's what she was. You guys, Fort Smith, you're on top of things when it comes to integration.
We're trying.
It sounds like you're putting the right emphasis on making sure that the people are there to make sure that you're guiding your teachers so that they don't waste their time.
We have a
not
great
on purpose.
team that works really hard. We have a team of people that go out to all 25 schools are covered with a tech integration person.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're doing it the right way. You guys are one-to-one, so mostly.
I feel like they kind of are doing it backwards. They're doing one-to-one from the lower grades first, and then they're going to eventually get to high school. But the high schools have several media carts and ways to get the technology into kids' hands.
Do they BYOD a lot at the high school?
Yes.
So that's probably their thinking is, hey, they're already carrying these devices in their hands.
Right.
Interesting.
Right. And most students do have their own device.
Yeah, that's a big deal with Google Classroom and Google Schools and everything. One of the cool questions that I like to ask about it is that you guys, this is a neat theme they have this year, infusing technology instead of using technology or focusing on technology. And it sounds like that's what you guys are doing. It's like, listen, this is the tool we're going to use. You can use it 80% of the classroom, but it's the tool that we're using.
No, we're not teaching the tool. We're teaching the content and using the tool to enhance that.
That's cool.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. So you're one of the technology integration specialists, and you're working with the teachers, getting them kind of over that hump. So what are some of the challenges that you find when you're trying to work with your teachers?
We still have teachers that just give worksheets, lecture and worksheets. And the first step with those teachers is to get them into something like a Google Classroom and at least have their worksheets be digital. At least get them comfortable with that. Then take them to the next step where they're doing some blogging or different types of things. But it's little by little.
Yeah.
I mean, at least do a Kahoot now and then or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That years ago when I was bringing schools in, I was like, listen, just get your teachers asking the kids to email their lessons in. Something. Start somewhere.
Right.
A lot of teachers, it's hard for them. It's like I'm losing control, but you're really not. You're making your life easy.
From what I see is teachers are afraid of not being perfect in front of their students.
Yeah.
And I want to try to get teachers to understand that you can learn from your students. It's okay.
Yeah.
And students understand that technology doesn't always work. So if you try something and it doesn't work, they're not going to laugh at you.
No.
It's okay. Just say, we'll try it again tomorrow.
Yeah. In fact, one of them will probably stand up.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I mean, seriously, when the technology is failing for whatever reason, seriously, there's a good chance you'll ask the student, hey, look, I swear this worked yesterday. It's not working now. Do you guys have ideas? What do you think we can make this work? If it turns out the technology just absolutely isn't working, that's okay. Monitor, adjust, pick up, move on.
When I was in the classroom, every time the iPhone would have an iOS update, I'd come in and say, okay, I got the update. Y'all tell me what's new with it. And then I wouldn't have to mess with trying to figure it out because the kids would be happy to teach me.
Exactly.
And the kids were talking about learning Blender, or they wanted to use Blender in one of my design classes, and I hadn't used Blender, so I had a couple of kids who were very good with using it, and they came up with the lesson, and I sat in one of their chairs, and they taught the lesson, and I was that kid that was like, wait a minute, you're going too fast for me.
Right.
But, I want teachers to understand it's okay to not know everything.
Anything special here you're here to look at, see that you're thinking about implementing?
We're trying to use 3D printers more than just, to print keychains and stuff for fun. So I'm looking for ways that classes can integrate 3D printing into literature or science.
That's a big one. I'll throw a shout out to our buddies at NWA 3D. We've known them since they were just two guys starting with an idea. That's, in fact, right now they have a teacher position open. They're hiring a teacher to come on board to provide that service, and that's something they've been talking about their whole time. Is
we have some of their equipment in our district, and they've actually come and done PD, and it's
they realize that this is the equipment. Now let's give you the how am I going to use it in English class? How am I going to use this in math? Well, we're going to help you do that.
You can move them around, and they're so durable.
Yeah.
I was at the East Conference this year, and they dropped it off this giant ladder, and they just did a little re-leveling, and it's ready to go.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Like I say now, it's in just the last 3 years, technology's finally caught up with education in more ways than one. Hardware, software, they made it kind of stupid easy for us. I mean, Chromebooks are so cheap. It's like, it's not a $500 iPad anymore that's going to shatter. It's like, well, it broke. Let's just get another one. Let's just move on. Yeah, it's really cool stuff. Well, so you head into a session now, or
yes,
did we keep you?
I'm headed to learn about tinker spaces.
Yeah, cool. That's cool stuff.
That's one of my goals is to try to get kids to tinker more.
Sure.
And teachers to take their classes to tinker.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Try to learn the process.
Well, that's going to be very cool.
Keeping in touch with you, say someone's listening and want to find out what's happening in Fort Smith. Do you have a Twitter account?
At Freeny.